Welcome to the video lecture on the web design process. Talk about the web design process. We're going to say that there's basically 5 steps to the process. First is developing your strategy. Second is the planning process. Third is site creation. Fourth is to promote the site. And step 5 is continuous improvement. When we talk about the developing your strategy, a couple things that we need to do. Number one is we need to determine our needs. Now, if we're dealing internally or externally, we need to identify who's in charge of the project. We need to meet with our client, and we need to gather information. And so the first thing we need to do is create some form of survey or questionnaire that we're going to ask our client to identify what are their specific needs for the site. Maybe they currently have a site and we need to identify what they want to improve off of their current site. And we need to develop a system to manage the entire project. And so one system that is used frequently is something called BaseCamp, which is an inexpensive online system for you to manage all the different aspects of the site. And BaseCamp's just a project management site. And so what you can do is you can set your program up on BaseCamp, and your client can always see what progress is being made on their specific project. We're talking about the planning process. This is when we start to develop site maps and wireframes. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about that later, which will be important for you because it is part of your project for this class. When we talk about site creation, we need to design the template, or what's the look and feel that every page is going to have, what's going to be consistent across every page, what are the tabs going to look like. You want to make sure your main tabs stay the same on every single page. Then after the template design has been approved, then you move to a development site, which is basically the website before it goes live. And so this allows you to test and implement certain functions of the site, and it also allows the client to interact and see what they like and what they don't like. Then we have the back-end portion, which is the content management system. This is where you manage the files that are going to be uploaded on the site. This is where you see everything that is saved onto the server. This is also where you can make changes to the site. Will come through your content management system. Then we need to identify, are we going to have authentication? And what I mean by that is, are people going to log in with a username and password? If people are logged in with username and password, that automatically means we've got to program a database. This database has to connect with our website. And so that adds cost anytime you add a module like that to a site. And then if we're doing e-commerce off of the site and we're selling product, then we probably have some form of a database integration with the site. Especially when you have a situation where your site is connected to the store and you're trying to manage inventory and try to decide, okay, if someone orders 50, do we have 50 of these in stock? You're going to set up a database that's going to tie in directly from your inventory control system into the website so it knows how much you've got it for. Also, you may have pricing integrated that way, so you only have to change price in your main system. It will automatically change the price on your shelf units and for your online customers. Then we need to look at promoting the site. First thing we talk about is SEO, search engine optimization. How do search engines find out about our site? We use things called meta tags, and the other thing we're going to be doing is there's now a lot of programs out there that will take information from your site and communicate to the search engines. How are you interacting with your customers? How do customers interact with the site? How are you promoting your site through social media? What are you doing with keyword research? And what type of email campaigns do you have? When we talk about continuous improvement, we want to make sure that we track the user's experience. We want to see is the frequently asked questions, meeting the needs of our customers. Continuous improvement becomes that part where a lot of people miss that step. And it's really the most important piece. And continuous improvement goes into, once you develop this site and you put it all together, now how are we getting people back to it? Is what we put together effective? What updates do we need to make? You want to continually make this site improve and become better, because if you, miss some spots, you want to meet those deficiencies as early as possible, and you want reasons for people to come back as you add new updated features to the site. And so that's why you always need to make sure that you have consistent updates. Are you interacting with your customers to identify if they were able to get through the site properly or not? And you want to have some form of review process in place. Okay, so we talked about two important pieces in the beginning, the sitemap and the wireframes. Now, for your final project, you're going to be required to create a sitemap. And the sitemap charts out the pages of the site. And so it kind of creates a diagram or a hierarchy of all the pages in the site, what information is being put under what section. And it's a really important piece for you to start off with, because it allows this entire process to be as organized as you possibly can be. When we talk about, there's things called XML sitemaps, which then will help you communicate with your search engines. And so let's look at what a sitemap is going to look like. And so your top piece here is the home page. About, portfolio, and contact are going to be your main tabs. And then what falls under the hierarchy in those pages, that's what falls under when you click on the About button. This is what's going to come up. And so you're going to get two files or two pages there, our company and our team. And so there might be a drop-down menu that will come once you put your scroller above the About button, and you can click on our company or our team. And so then you create other levels. What happens when I click on our company? What happens? Where do you go to? And so you continue to build those levels. You can go online to see how other sites do their sitemaps. You have the opportunity to use something called writemaps.com. And there's a link at the end of this presentation that has the websites of the sites that you can use. It is a free registration site, and what you can do is I will show you how to share a sitemap to me as part of your assignment. When we talk about the wireframes, what a wireframe is, a mock-up of the way pages will look. It's used to communicate with the client on how the page will look before hours of development are put into it. These can be both simple and complex. And when we look at this first diagram here, basically what this is showing is a web development company going through what their development process is. And you can see here that their development process is very similar to how we laid off the different components of the website process. They have a discovery piece here where they're talking specifically about interacting with the client, gathering content from the client, and then also having the client set up where they're creating a BaseCamp project, they're creating a client file, and what FreshBooks is an online billing system. Then after they get that information, they create a sitemap and a wireframe. They have to get approval from the client, then to design the pages. Then they get final approval there, and then they create the front end and the back end pages, and then a third approval to launch the site out. And what we have here is an example of wireframes. And so a wireframe is a real basic layout of the site. Those boxes with X's, that means there's probably going to be a graphic there and some content. We're not really even telling you what the content is yet. We're just saying this is what the pages are going to look like. And so you can see on the upper left-hand corner, that is page 1. Page 2, that would be tab 2. This is what tab 2 is going to look like. Bottom left-hand corner is tab 3, and bottom right-hand corner is going to be tab 4. And so it just shows you how the different pages are going to be laid out. And so that's more of a SketchUp look of a wireframe. They can be very complex, where it really kind of gives you a true look of what the site is minus graphics. And so those are what wireframes are going to look like. You want to do this first because you're not doing any programming. You want them to be able to send this layout and give it to your programmers so they can program the pages. The links that we're going to be using to create the wireframes, you're going to go to a site called IPlots.com, and to create the sitemaps, you're going to go to www.writemaps.com. First, let's go to writemaps.com. All right, and let's just go through the sign up now process. I'm just going to give myself a username. It's got to be at least 4 characters long. Create a password. And then your email address. Say you accept your terms of service. I thought I did. Maybe I didn't accept the terms of service. Okay, now that it was successful, I can just go to Write Maps. They don't charge you anything for this service, and so I can go to my Maps page. Let's say I want to create a new sitemap. Your top page here is always going to be your home page, or what is sometimes called the index page. Then every time you want to add a new tab to put in, you just click the plus button. Now this one actually puts it underneath. Well, I want to do another one next to it. So you just keep on adding pages. And so let's say under About Us, I'm going to have ownership. Let's say I want to put the history. And so I just keep continuing to build these frames out. Now, let's say you're like, okay, I'm done with it. How do I get the assignment to the instructor? All I'm going to ask you to do here is you can go to the File button and then go to Sharing. Oops. Never mind. First go to Save. I'm just going to save it as Test 1. And then go to Enable Sharing. Now you have a link here. You can click on that URL. And then all you have to do is copy and paste the website, and then in Blackboard, just submit that to me. And so either within your paper or as a separate document to attach to the assignment, that's where you can put the wireframe. You don't have to export to Word or anything. I will then go and link into your assignment. Now, the next one that we're going to look at is something called IPlots. And IPlots, they will give you a 30-day free trial. It doesn't ask for any credit card information and allows you to set up your wireframe. And so once you get into IPlots, I have a project here from another class. So once I develop the project untitled, you're going to click on the box here that says Wireframe. And you see here is what I've kind of set up. Let's just delete these items out of here and show you how easy it is to set up your wireframe. Alright, and so on the left-hand side here, you've got a bunch of different items. And so I can click on banner and just drag it. Just press the mouse button down and drag it over. And your banner shows up. I generally will just kind of center it a little bit, and there becomes your banner ad. Alright, now I want to put some tabs. I'm going to do it like a button bar here. So I want to have 4 tabs, let's say. But I want this to be the same width as the banner. So I just drag the arrow out just like you would in Word or something else. Now I want to change the button name. So all I have to do is go in here. I double click on the bar itself. And I will say new customers, new clients. Current clients. I don't know, updates. And about us. Alright. Now you'll see that automatically changed the names of the tabs. Now I can click it again and say, you know what? I want to add an item. So I go to the box here and I will do a tab called Pictures. Click Add Item. And it shows up. Now let's say I want pictures to move up in front of About Us. All I have to do is hit that arrow, and it changes them. And so it's really easy to use. If I want to, there's a bunch of different items I can add in here. If I want to add an image, under image placeholder, that goes there. So I'm going to put that in the banner. And so I had this already pre-written. That would just tell me that that's the logo. If I want to then put a vertical bar, maybe I want to have subtabs here, I can create that there. And so I can add text boxes, I can add lists. It'll give you a good idea of how to set up that page. And again, go online, look at different wireframes to see what are different ways that you can set it up. And if you have any questions, please let me know. To find those links, again, we are going to IPlots.com for your wireframes and WriteMaps.com to do your sitemap.